Hey folks, it's Age-Old Hunting Gear Guy. Today I wanted to show you this Remington 1100. I've actually got two 1100s here. This one's really old. They've been making these things since the 60s. And this is one of the first viable semi-auto 12-gauge shotguns. And I think it's kind of cool. This one is gas operated, and whenever you're talking about gas operated in a semi-automatic, that means you get to bleed some of the gas off to operate the action, and that means that they're going to recoil a little bit softer than other shotguns out there. So these were really cool, I think, for the age. For this video, I'm going to show a lot of close-ins to just show some of the inner workings on these things and to hopefully give you guys some more detailed shots of how it works. Sorry, my other video got a little bit messed up there. I lost some audio, so I just wanted to show usability real quick in one shot. I've got a couple of these dummy rounds here. So if you're out hunting or whatever and you've got an empty port like this, kind of the idea that they're going for is that you grab your shot shell, you throw one into the chamber, and then the rest of them you're going to load in through the bottom. And once you start loading, it's going to fly forward, and these plastic rounds are a little bit more difficult to get forward. There we go. That's going to slam forward as you start loading from the bottom here. So it's kind of like it's a little bit complex for movement. You're throwing one in the port here, and then you start to slide some through the bottom. It's more, I guess, work than loading a lot of semi-auto weapons, but with a shotgun, it's just the way it's got to be, just because of the way that they run with these tubes. If you were running a mag-fed shotgun, this would be very different. So that's what it's going to run like. Just running it with the handle here, it is going to be a little bit different. It's going to lock it back, and it's going to keep it back like that. When it's in use, it won't do that. It won't lock to the back like that. It will just keep reciprocating until the last round. Safety, just on the bottom here, it's just a standard cross bolt safety, so nothing too crazy there. So now that we've seen the operation of this shotgun, let's look at the guts of this thing. Now we're going to start with this end over here. I'm just going to lock the bolt to the rear. That's going to allow my barrel to unlock. If you had an 870, this is pretty much exactly the same thing. I'm going to take our magazine cap off. That just unscrews. That's really easy. This wood piece comes right off. This is a little bit different than the 870. It doesn't come off quite the same way. And then our barrel can just kind of scooch off there. There it goes. You'll notice a couple of things. One, this piece on the barrel is actually doing something. That's actually kind of where we get our gases all locked in and all the action happens. And that's where these pieces are going to move on the tube here, as well as this piece here. So if I were to let this thing come forward, you'll see how this shotgun is from, I don't even know, it's from 1963 to 1968, somewhere in there. And you can see that through use, all the bluing is gone on here, and that's because these pieces are constantly moving back and forth. A weak point on this shotgun, let's just get it nice and sharp in there, is, let me just sort of lock that back one more time here and get some other components out here. It's got this little like rubber O-ring kind of thing at the front. Let me just whoop, 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 pull it over there. And it can get worn and cracked, and then your semi-auto won't be semi-auto anymore. So that's one risk, is this rubber O-ring kind of thing on here. I mean, with a lot of semi-autos, you're looking at steel onto steel, self-cleaning actions where we have this rubber O-ring on here. And this is incidentally what Remington doesn't have with their next, the next generation of the 1100 is the Versamax. And the Versamax doesn't use a rubber O-ring. Instead it uses two smaller gas pistons to control the gas. We've also got these gas component pieces on the top here. And again, these are working with that other piece from the barrel. So I've got the light like cranked on this thing, so you can see those two little holes in there. That's where the gas is ported out of the barrel and into this tube here. So this particular barrel and this particular shotgun are built for 2 3/4 inch shells. I also have a Magnum here, and the Magnum 3-inch shells only has one of those holes, so it doesn't need as much gas because it's getting more gas from the shell itself, so it doesn't need to bleed off as much gas from the barrel. So you notice that the barrel was really easy to take off, and there's an advantage to that. I mean, the nice thing is that you can get other barrels for this shotgun. You can get shorter barrels. They did run these in a tactical series for a while, so you get a shorter barrel, you get a longer barrel. You can get barrels that are rifled for sabot or sabot slugs. And those ones will be better for deer hunting and that kind of thing. Here in this part of Canada where I'm at, everyone just uses rifles. There's no sense in using a shotgun because we don't have any really have any legislation that prevents us from using rifles. And we commonly have, like, I make longer shots. The longest shot I've made so far has been 650 yards. So taking a shotgun out for deer hunting isn't really my cup of tea around this area. But some people do it, and you know, some people have those shorter shots they can make. So all the more power to them. Tear this thing down some more. Let's ease that bolt forward. This part's interesting. You can just actually grab this. It might be a little bit stiff, but if you grab it with your 2 fingers there and just kind of squeeze it and pull up, it'll just come right out of there. Now that our bolt's out, there's actually just a lever right on this side that you can push as you pull it in. Same thing as on an 870, and we're pulling out that bolt and that carrier. This is as far as you should need to take it. There are these 2 pins here, so you can pop these pins out and pull the trigger group. You may find, like in these older shotguns, these trigger groups are hard to get out. They're really in there. So for this one, I did clean it. I don't think it's ever been cleaned. It's got like 40 some odd years of abuse and use that's been put into it. So I definitely did not need that cleaning. But for most everyone else out there, you get all your cleaning off the front here. Sorry, I should have pulled off this rubber O-ring nicely rather than just jamming it forward with all that stuff. Once you got this guy off, I'm just going to chuck this guy off to the side. And here's where you can pull your bolt off. It's just sitting on this shell carrier here. Let me pull you in a little bit closer. It's just kind of sitting on there, right? We've got a locking lug here that kind of flips up and down. So again, you can clean this stuff off really easily. There's a pin here if you want to pull the firing pin out and cleaning all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to bother because even this one, this shotgun that's been used 40 odd years, the frying pin's fine on it. It doesn't need to be cleaned, and I'm not going to clean it. If you do get in there, don't put any oil into the firing pin channel. We don't want that freezing up in winter or anything like that. As far as the rest of this, yeah, I mean, you can clean off any carbon buildup that you see, but I didn't really have all that much on this one, so I'm not going to clean it. Now to pull this tube out, you know, maybe this is just me being dense, but I didn't know that this was just an end cap in here. Let's get that nicely focused in. There we go. This is just a plug that's sitting in there. There's nothing holding this in. It's just friction. So to pull it out, we're just going to slowly lever on it and just slowly take it out of the tube. And then as it starts getting closer, sorry, this is kind of awkward because I'm trying to show you, but it's also, come on, kind of hard to get in there. There we go. And let's, come on. I'm just going to try to, there it goes flying off across my room there. But that's it, you know, that's all that cap's doing is just kind of holding this spring captive. Now you can pull this spring out as well as your follower, and you can see I've never cleaned it because there just came a whole bunch of junk with it. But there's our follower that I should probably clean off. Yuck. Well, now I'm gonna have to put this stuff in the wash, but installation is reverse. Here's our follower that we're gonna throw down and get in there into the tube, and then there's the spring. Get in there. This next part's hard. I'm gonna show me struggling because it's probably funny to watch me fight with this thing. Okay, let's. There we go. Hopefully I've got the cap handy. There it is. Yeah, it is under pressure. Come on, come on. Okay, let's grab that cap. And just place it over the top, and if you just turn it a little bit and pinch it, it'll just fit right in there, and then you can push it down. Like you definitely wouldn't want to have this thing full of shells if you were disassembling it, A, because that's stupid, and B, because that extra pressure on this thing, that cap might not hold, and it might just fly all over the place. So there, it's back in. So now that my cap's back in, I can start putting things back together. I'm going to put this rail on here. There's my bolts. I'm going to breech face forward kind of a thing. Man, what, like, this thing doesn't get any more simple. This is a real simple shotgun to put together. I'm going to get it kind of close to the rear here, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of reach in there and push that same lever that's kind of holding things back. There it goes. Come on, come on. Then I have to push it again. And what's holding this up here? There we go. So I just push that lever in there. That's going to get us back here. And let's put in our little knobby guy here. And in there. Okay. These rings. Steel rings. And then our O-ring. Sorry, I should show you guys what's going on here. I saw one guy recommending that you put like tape over these threads so that they don't cut this O-ring. I mean, these O-rings aren't expensive, right? You can get a pile of them from Brownells for a couple of bucks. So it's not, these things aren't unobtainable. They're out there. And I think you can use, I want to say like a number 21 Viton ring, but check out my review. I do have that stated in there, and I've got some more high-def pictures of this thing. Let's put the rest of this thing together. So we're going to lock it back. Move some of those steel pieces there. We're going to put our barrel in. I'm just making sure I'm not going to hit anything in my vicinity here. I'm just feeding that up, feeding it over the front as well as the rear there. And I'm not being too hard on it. That guy right there. And the cap on as well. I'm not going to ratchet like really hard there. I'm just going to function test it as well. So pull it back and forth, check, make sure I don't have any ammo. Where's one of my snap caps? Pop my snap cap in. Maybe this won't work. I don't know. There we go. That worked. Okay, and I'm just going to pull the trigger. Again, this is a snap cap I put in there. It's not a live round. Sorry, wasn't all the way forward. Get out of there, snap cap. You suck. I should get, there's a dummy rounds that you can make with brass rims that I might have to make some of those for this thing. So again, this is the Remington 1100 shotgun. They're pretty old, but you know, this is actually a really decent low price option if you were going to get into trap or skeet. Simply because the used options out there, there's a pile of these things out there used. They're really inexpensive. They're reliable enough for trap shooting. You just have to watch those O-rings, and you know, I'm saying watch those O-rings. Some guys out there don't care about them a lot and say they fire thousands of rounds out of these shotguns. I don't know. The other things I've read say watch your O-rings. So watch your O-rings. Yeah, I mean, for trap, it's one idea. For 3-gun, some guys are using it as like a low-priced option. But again, you need that shell carrier in here. That easy loader. That's going to make it easier to hit this bottom piece here. And some of the people that I've talked to have said that under the kind of shooting that you do in 3-gun where you're on your side and all over the places, that this shotgun wasn't fantastic for it, but other people have had a lot of great luck with it. So it might be an inexpensive option for 3-gun, but primarily, I mean, I really love this stock, and I really love the operating action for a hunting shotgun. It's a little bit heavier than some of the new ones, but man, it just the weight of it feels fine to me. And the the recoil on it isn't going to be as bad as a typical punk, because we're, again, operating that gas action, and because it's got a little bit of that extra weight on it. You can get, very easily, you can get replacement butt pads. I kind of need one for this one. This one's probably the original. It looks nasty. It's got like that old purplish rubber that they had on these things way back in the day. You can get like new butt pads for like $30, and they're going to be awesome. So this could be a really soft shooter for a 12 gauge, and that might be a really advantage if you're looking at shooting a pile of ammo at trap or 3-gun or something like that. So maybe it's a good option for you guys out there who are looking at doing that on the cheap.